So hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and this video is going to be the continuation of my ServiceNow to Zoom integration series. And in this one we will be learning how we can integrate Zoom Webhook with ServiceNow. So I would also recommend, if you haven't watched my previous videos yet, then please go check it out by clicking on I button so that it will become easier for you to understand this video, and stick along with me for this entire session, and I promise it will become really easy for you guys to do the entire stuff by yourself. So let's just get started. So guys, I'm on my ServiceNow screen and I will just head over to Zoom Marketplace, and I've already logged in, so I will be able to see the application which I have created. Now I will tell you how you can request the Zoom Webhook application for yourself. So just go to the develop option over here and click on build application. So you can select the third one, which is Webhook only application, and click on create. It will ask for Webhook application name. Just provide the name and hit on create. It will create the application. So I have already created the application, so I will just open it. It will have basic information mentioned over here, and so these are the random information that I have filled in. So you guys can also fill the required field like this, and just go to the feature. So we will be having secret token and verification token over here, and event subscription option, and the third one is activation. So from here we can deactivate or activate our application. So just go to feature and enable the event subscription. I've already enabled it, and click on add event subscription. So I have already added the event subscription, so I will just click on it once again. So it will ask for subscription name, event notification, endpoint URL. So these are the few of them are required details, so we need to fill in, and few are optional, as you can see. So I will show how you can fill the details over here. So I will just delete this one and go to the already created recording completed event subscription. So this is the subscription name, and this is the event notification endpoint URL. So you can provide any name, and if we talk about this one, then this is the URL to my custom created REST API, which is handling the Zoom request, right? So we need to provide that resource path over here. I will show you. This is my ServiceNow scripted REST API module, and if I go to the resource which I have created, so it will have that particular path. See, this path only I have provided over here in order to reach my created REST API. Okay, and we are handling the request over there. And then if I go down, then it says validated, but if you create it, so it will ask for the validation. Okay, so you need to validate this, and this is the most trickiest part, I would say, in the entire session, because it expects certain encryption, which I will show in the Zoom documentation. And after that, like after you have validated this URL, then you can just go and add as many events as you needed. So I will just click on already created events. So I have created end meeting event. So whenever the meeting is ended, it will send the notification to ServiceNow with certain information about the meeting. And then I've created one for recording as well, but it's not working as I have the basic subscription. It will only work for the pro or enterprise level subscription, and I don't have it right now. So I will show you for in meeting event how we can receive this particular event and how we can use the information mentioned in the event to do certain process in ServiceNow. So the first thing first is to create the Webhook application, which is very simple, and then the second and most important thing is to enable the event subscription and then validate this one. So the process of validation I will show in the Zoom documentation. Okay, so I will just head over to this. I will also add this particular URL to the description in order to have a reference for you guys. I will explain it briefly. So this is about validating your Webhook endpoint, and if I go down, then see if it has the same view that we were having over here. Okay, subscription name, then endpoint URL, then validation, the same thing mentioned over here, and here is the validate button. So I have already validated, so I am not getting that particular button, but if you create it for the first time, then you will get this button over here. So once you click on it, it will send this payload to your provided URL, okay, your endpoint URL. So we need to process this thing. So basically we need this plain token from this payload, and we already have the secret token, okay, for our application. This is the secret token. Now we need to mix these two things and create a HMAC SHA-256 hashing using both these values. As you can read over here, once you receive the request body, create HMAC SHA-256 hash, set your Webhook secret token as a secret salt and the plain token value as the string to hash, and output in hex format. So we need to do the hashing and output the result in the hex format and return it to the Zoom so that it will be validated. So you can see the payload that we need to send in the response. This is nothing but the plain token that we received and the encrypted token, and this value is nothing but the hex format of HMAC SHA-256 hashing. Okay, and this particular hashing is cannot be achieved in ServiceNow natively, so you need to hash it from external source. So in my case, I have created Express application, and I am handling the request sent from ServiceNow to my Express application, and then I am using that application to do the encryption and return it to ServiceNow. So I will explain how I am doing that. It's a bit tricky, but it's not that difficult. I will explain you step by step so that it will become very simple for you guys. So this is the entire thing regarding the validation, and the documentation also provides the code in order to do the hashing. See, this is the code that you need to write in order to do the hashing. So that's all we need to do for the validation, and once the validation is done, then you can expect the event coming through. So that's all, and let me just now head over to ServiceNow. So guys, I I assume that you guys are aware of how we can use the scripted REST API in ServiceNow. If you don't know, then I will mention the reference link for you guys in order to learn how we can create scripted REST API. So I will just write a scripted REST in navigation, and under system web service I'm having scripted REST API option. I will just click over here. It will show all the scripted REST API. So I will go to the one that I have created. So this is the one, get recording. I will click over here. It will open the REST API, and this is the details that I filled in, and you guys also need to create the API in the similar way. You need to provide the API name, then API ID. It will be automatically populated based on the name, and the base API path will also be automatically populated. So now just scroll down, go to resource and create a resource over here. And in our case we required post method, so I have created a post request. See, this is the post request that I'm handling, and this is the relative path. So don't forget to add the relative path /webhook, because as per the documentation it is required. And then go down, and this is the code that I have written, which is handling the request. So I will explain it so that it will become easy for you to understand. So guys, first of all I am retrieving the request body data that I am receiving. So I will do one thing, I will just copy the payload that is getting sent to us. So this is the payload which will be getting sent to us, and I will just paste it over here in order to explain. So here in this body variable we are storing this particular object. Okay, so by writing this request.body.data, it will retrieve this particular object from the request body, and I'm just printing it. I'm doing gs.info in order to print the body. Now, so first thing we need to notice here is the event. So basically for each and every event there will be different naming of the event. So if it is about the URL validation, then the event name would be something like this, endpoint.url_validation. If it is meeting start or meeting stop, then there will be different event name. So if I can scroll down, I can show you. So this is here I am validating the meeting ended event. Okay, so in a similar way we have multiple events, and all the events have certain unique value, and we can validate those event name and do the processing accordingly. So from the payload I am just retrieving the event name by writing body.event, and I am just validating. If it is regarding validation, then I will start the control will be in this if block. Now I can also retrieve the token as it is sent in the request, plain token, as we need the plain token and secret token for the hashing. So I'm retrieving the token from the payload by writing body.payload.plain token. Now in the next line I have instantiated the REST message again in order to request my express application. So in order to do the hashing, so I need to send the body in the request. So this is the body that I am sending. I am providing the plain token value as well as Zoom secret value. Now the endpoint would be like this. This is my endpoint where I am sending the request in order to perform the hashing activity. And the next thing is the type of method. So the method I'm using is post, and then to request header I am passing. So in the similar fashion you can also write your code. And as the body is in the object form, I am just converting it into JSON.string format by this line, and then I am executing the request, and then I'm passing the response and retrieving the respective values like status code and the encrypted token that I am receiving. So I will show you what response I am sending and how I am passing it. And if it fails, then there is a error that will be logged in the log statement in ServiceNow. And in the response, now after the successful execution of our request in our Express application, it will send the response, and the response would be like, we need the encrypted token value, right? So it will send the token value, encrypted token value, and we are sending it back to Zoom from here. Okay, so here I am basically doing two things. I am making a call. I am making a REST API call to my own application, and whatever response I am getting from that application, I am sending it back to Zoom application. Okay, so this is the response, and this is as per the documentation. So if I could show you, in the documentation it is mentioned that it is expecting the plain token and encrypted token in the response. Okay, create the response JSON object, it is mentioned over here. So I am sending the same response, and then here the response status is getting set, and I am providing the respective headers. So one thing here to notice is why we are using this particular line, response.get stream writer dot write string. Okay, instead we could have used response.set body and pass the body over there. So basically the Zoom expect the request exactly in this fashion. Okay, and if we use response.setBody, then it will send the response something like this. I'll show you. It will prepend data into it, and then it will send the body like this. Okay, and we don't want this data key to be prepended to this one. Okay, so in order to avoid this data to be prepended, we need to use this method .get stream writer. So I will just remove it. So once we use this one, then the exact similar payload will be sent to Zoom application, and it will do the job. Now the second thing is how I have obtained this public URL. So basically my application, my Express application is running on localhost, but I have used Cloudflare that provide the publicly accessible URL, and once we hit that URL, it reroutes the request to the localhost. So I will explain how it is working. I will just go to my JavaScript code. So I have written the application in VS Code. You can use any other IDE as per your preference. So this is the code, and I will also attach this code in the description so that you can refer it. So basically it is running on the port 3000, and it is expecting a post request, and this is the exact location where we need to send. As you can see in the ServiceNow endpoint as well, I have appended this Zoom Webhook validate to reach to this location. Okay, and then over here our request will be handled. So I'm first just logging the request header and body, and then under the try block I am storing the plain token and Zoom secret, and I'm extracting it from the request that we are sending. So I will show you. This is the request that we are sending, and this plain token and Zoom secret is getting extracted over here, and then it is getting validated if we received it or not. If not, then it will response as a status 400, and it will give a error message like this. And if we receive the plain token and Zoom secret, then it will start the hashing. So this is the line of code that you need to write in order to do the hashing. You need to provide the Zoom secret and then the plain token, so it will be mixed together and encrypted in the hex format, and then it will be returned to ServiceNow, where we can parse the object and then retrieve the required encrypted token value. Okay, and if at all it resulted in error, then it will show the associated error, like what's the issue. So that's all we need to write. And also here the application is running on port 3000, so we need to have a publicly accessible URL. So for that I have used Cloudflare, and you can also install it from PowerShell, and I will show you how you can install it. So just go to PowerShell, and just write this line of code. Just write it. It will install Cloudflare package if it is not already installed. If it is already installed, then it will just update with the latest package. So as there is no upgrade found, so the package remain as it is. I will just show you the version. So I'll just write Cloudflare version. So this is the latest version that I have. And in order to get the public URL for your localhost application, you need to write this line of script. So basically it is used to handle the request coming from ServiceNow. Just write Cloudflare. So this particular URL, it will create a publicly accessible URL for this one. So basically when we hit this URL, it redirects the request to this URL. It will reroute it, and this URL is what? It is nothing but where our application is hosted actually. Okay, so whatever request coming to this URL provided by Cloudflare will be rerouted to our local host, and based on the exact address it will go to that particular function and it will return the response. Okay, I think it is making sense now. So basically local host application is not accessible over internet, so we have to have a publicly accessible URL. Okay, so Cloudflare is one of the tool through which we can create this tunnel. You can use any other tool as well. So I will hit enter. It will provide me the URL. See, this URL I can use in order to receive request over internet. So in the same way I have obtained a URL and I have used it. Okay, I've used it over here, and this doesn't need to be mentioned in the application. It doesn't need to be mentioned over there because that URL is nothing but the mirror of this particular URL. Okay, So if we are writing the port, that is sufficient. So that's all we need to do for creating the Express application that will be handling the request coming from ServiceNow for encrypting the plain token and Zoom secret together. And now this response will be sent, and we can retrieve the value in the response over here. See, I'm retrieving the encrypted token value over here, and then I am responding it back to Zoom. Okay, along with different other parameters like the status code, headers, right? And if at all it returns some error, then it will log it in the script log statement in ServiceNow. So once it is validated, it will we can get the event happening in the Zoom account to this URL, and we can start processing it according to our need. So that's all we would need to do for integrating the Zoom Webhook with ServiceNow. I will do a test run and I will show you how it is working. So first of all, I will just show you how you can start your Express application. Okay, so in order to do so, first you need to write a JavaScript code and store it somewhere. Then you need to navigate to that particular folder where the JavaScript code is stored. Like in my case, I have stored in certain folder, so I will just change the directory to that particular folder. Yeah, so this is the directory. So in this folder I have stored my JavaScript file. I can show you. So this is the folder where I have stored the JavaScript file. As you can see, server.js. Here, from here also we can see the location of the file. Okay, so you need to go to that particular location and then just write. And yeah, you also need to have Node installed. Okay, and you can install the Node and then start running your JavaScript code. So what we need to do in order to start the application is just write Node, then the name of the JavaScript file. See, it has started. So it printed the message that I have written. So now it is running, and once it is running, we can click on the validate button that we will be getting once we log in first time. This is the validate button. Once we click over here, it will send the request to ServiceNow, and then ServiceNow will send a request to this particular application, our custom built application, and then our application send the response to ServiceNow with encrypted token, and then this encrypted token will be sent back to Zoom. See, over here we are sending it back and it will be validated. Okay, and it will show something like this. So now I will just do a test run and we'll see how it is working. So I will just go to a random incident and I will create a meeting and I will show how we are receiving the event. I will just go to the incident list view. I will open any random incident. So in my previous video, I have already explained how we are receiving these values and how we have incorporated the UI action in order to receive these information, in order to make the REST API call to Zoom. So you can follow my previous video. So I will re-execute. I will just click on Zoom meeting. it should give me the Zoom session link. So this is the link. I will just click over here and start the meeting. So it will start the Zoom call.
Recording in progress.
The Zoom call is started. Now, according to our event which we have configured, once we click on the end meeting, it should trigger an event to ServiceNow. So let's just end this meeting. I will click on it. I will just close these windows. I will go to the log statement. Script log. It should have been populated by now. I will refresh few more times. See, we have received the payload. And if I go to the incident, we would have received the comment as well. See, the comment is populated over here, like meeting ended, and how it updated. So it searched for the meeting ID, like the incident having the particular meeting ID, and it queried the incident. And then, like here, I'm querying the incident and I'm validating the meeting ID. So if any incident found with that particular meeting ID, so that incident will be updated. Okay, so this is how it works. So in the similar way, we can configure many events, different events available in the Zoom Webhook in order to receive certain real-time notification, and we can process that internally in ServiceNow in order to do certain customizations. Okay, so guys, that's all for this tutorial, and I hope you really enjoyed this entire session and it was not very difficult for you guys to understand. And in order to help you, I will add all the reference to my description. You can just check it out over there. And please guys, like and subscribe my video, so it will really motivate me to come up with more such informative videos. And if you have any doubt or any suggestion, then you can just write it down in the comment below and I will be responding over there. So we'll meet in the next exciting video. Till then, bye.